just received breaking news indicating going forward the Bitcoin market would be quite positive. Though it looks like crisis avoided as of yet, this is something that may have evolved into a major black swan event. I want to dissect exactly what that was in this video, along with discuss something quite enigmatic and weird that just happened for XRP. Guys, this may be a clue that something major is just around. Like always, you are greatly helping this channel. I appreciate everyone who spends some time liking these videos and channel subscription. These two straightforward actions truly help me so much. Also, be sure to check out my very exchange upload down in the description of this video should you ever be in a decent spot to acquire some XRP. Having stated that, that will just jump right in front of you, and I hope you people enjoy the material. Like I mentioned in the introduction, we have some quite interesting breaking news to discuss, right straight into the video. As I mentioned, for the near future this might indeed be a somewhat negative catalyst on the market. It might grow to be a black swan. We arrived at the best-case scenario from all sorts of horrible possibilities that might have followed from this, and I'm going to gently pat my back. Over the past few days, I believe I have sortingly nailed this. I'll take this victory as the channel has had plenty of mistakes, but it appears like the Middle Eastern conflict has just been resolved. One senses a truce about to take place. Right now, this is quite hopeful. Many felt this would play out over a year, 2 years, 3 years. They believed the United States would become totally engaged. Though it looks like none of it came true, this was lot better than many people were first expecting. They believed perhaps this would turn into the next world event. I've been trying to make the point obvious now for the past few months. Look, this has nothing to do with crypto. In fact, this helps the position for crypto as all these nations must conduct business with one another and must be able to do so in a way free from mistrust. Clearly, even if this truce won't change the reality that tensions are high and these nations do not trust one another, they still have to deal with one another. That use case has never been more crucial, as the usage of this distributed financial network offers a layer of essentially protection for each one of us individually, thus sitting in between all these different nations and allowing us to communicate financially with one another provides a use case. Clearly, though, merely the worries about this worldwide occurrence has been generating uncertainty and a dread of general market investment. This is what we have been confronted with over the past few days and weeks. I then tried to make the analogy to the whole Russia-Ukraine scenario, another worldwide battle that occurred really recently, almost a year ago. Many people speculated that this would be the black swan of the market. Yeah, this is something. The next major World War event is about here. Everybody is selling their belongings. Out of markets, leave. Everything will go bankrupt from this. And what we observed was, yes, there was horrible. Yes, a lot of people were engaged. There was a casualties, and clearly my heart goes out to everyone involved, but in terms of global conflict, it never materialized into that at the end. Media terror headlines were running things up to attempt to encourage people to panic and profit from the market. It seems like it was exactly what I meant to say, that I truly thought this event we were going through was that exact same thing. Media and all the major mainstream media companies get a lot of money when they scare people, since people will then read the articles they create that usually no one reads. But if you can instill fear in people and you can get people worried, then people are going to go read it, because they are dying for more information. The big Wall Street companies and the big hedge funds also grasp this and use these fear triggers to control markets, push prices lower. Even if these events, or even if these fear catalysts are made around, don't have anything to do with the underlying value proposition of the technologies or the assets that they are affecting with their price. Basically, These large Wall Street companies and hedge funds see, oh, well, we can push some prices around and get people to sell, and then scoop up those bags much cheaper. A major fear catalyst becomes available. That is basically what I assumed was happening here. And it appears that is exactly what happened. The ceasefire exists here. Both nations seem to be saying, yes, a truce was observed. We are consenting to this. Short term, this marks most likely the end of this story. Looks like we'll most likely pass this really fast, set it in background, and then be back emphasizing the important things. Almost like the negative price action accompanying this incident was to be bought or disregarded. This will be a perpetual process. I want this to be obvious. Every single time something might be blown out of proportion, it will be done so as that is where the money is generated. Although it's with blowing these things out of proportion, it's quite crucial to zoom out and just have a general view of everything happening. Exactly? Does this change my investing thesis? And the response we arrived at pretty early in this whole process was definitely not. Yes, this is useless. Actually, anyone selling on this news has no concept how crucial these kind of events are in confirming the demand for distributed financial software to sit in between all these many counterparties that lack trust of one another. Confirming the thesis was under progress. People's worry in the market was driving them to feel as though they had to sell their investment. People behave in this way. Though that was never the right thing to do, since this event was never going to materialize into anything that justified that degree of fear. Markets go down, and people feed into the fear and sell. But that's not what the big Wall Street firms and the big people who control these markets wanted you to think. They urged you to consider. You had to sell now. Prices are considerably lower. What they were doing was purchasing the bag you just unloaded. Thus, it is rather crucial to understand and examine how all this unfolded in retrospect. Many people claiming that this would be a drawn-out event. Plenty of dread entering the market, and this would have all kinds of ramifications. And look, couple days later, a few weeks later, we are already on the other side of this, and everyone will entirely forget about this whole affair and the impact it had on markets. Prices will return to their natural level. It will be like, oh, indeed. Recall that incident that occurred some few months ago. Certainly. Who gives a damn right now? Clearly, it was merely a brief anomaly on the radar. Though I am driving it home, it is quite crucial to grasp. David Sachs wrote a post right here that I truly related to. I mean, I'm not sure how other people view this, but he stated, by a great majority, the Americans did not wish a war in that nation. I'm just glossing over this, so I don't get a strike on YouTube for mentioning any nasty words. They also wanted the aggressor nation to have a really large, powerful bomb. Though I honestly believe it was really well done, generally, this was the best-case situation. We were all really concerned about where this might wind up a few days ago. We now live on the other side of it. At this stage, all the key anxiety triggers seem to have been totally eliminated. Now, we only need to ensure